Greetings everyone. So you're joining with IIT's video when it comes to celebration of some of our students who have made it to the global scale when it comes to producing their ideas and proposals for a business. It's a proposal when it comes to Google Summer of Code, the competition that holds among a lot of countries, not just in Sri Lanka, but also globally. So the reason why we thought of bringing this up to you is because we wanted to showcase the talent of IIT students, the current students that are joining with me right now. You can see them right next to me on the screen. And it's a call for celebration, even though it can be something at the initial stage. But the fact that these are all IIT students and they have made something that's standing out from the rest of the globe is something that we all cherish as IIT. And to start off, well, we're talking about Google Summer of Code 2020, the competition that's going on right now, even though it's at the initial stage at the moment. We have a lot to talk about because these projects, these ideas have actually developed into something that's been accepted. And these people that are on the screen with me today have been accepted for this competition, which means it's a good news for IIT and also a lot of people, a lot of individuals who aspire to be in IT sector in the future. So today we have Dilum De Silva and also Devon, as well as Asa joining with us today. These are all IIT students. Currently, they're either in the final year or in the third year, in the placement year. So we thought of inviting them on board. And these are not the only three individuals that have been selected. There are two more, but they have been trouble at the moment. So that's why we have invited those who can to join this webinar to speak about what they have done, because what they have done is completely inspiring. And we want to disseminate this message to all of you for those who are watching right now. And we would like to welcome Dilum De Silva. Good morning to all of you. And to Devon as well, and also to Azar. So let's speak about the projects first. So Dilum, now I know that you have been in Google Summer of Code even before as a mentor, right? So let's speak about what Google Summer of Code is, because I think everybody wants to know, curious about what this competition is all about today.
Yeah, basically, to give an overview, it's a global program where which happens in the summer, during the summer. So they use the summer break to motivate students. It's not a big thing in Sri Lanka when it comes to summer, because we don't have that separation in climate. So, but in other countries, they consider summer as a vacation. So they have this entire summer. So Google used that particular time period to motivate students to contribute to open source. So basically they give a kind of a payment, and in some parts it's considered as an internship from Google, but it's not directly involving with Google. Google have this part. Google is partnered up with some other open source organizations and let students to contribute to their projects or new ideas or coming up with new ideas. So it's kind of a global program which motivates students to basically contribute to open source.
Right. So from IIT, you guys are the ones who participate and you've been selected as well. So that's great news. So congratulations to all three of you and to the two that are missing at the moment on the screen. So moving on, everybody wants to know what you have done, because you have done something major and you've been selected to be processed further. Starting with Devon, because you've been in the competition earlier, you were selected last year as well. So let's speak about the project that you have done so far. I mean, this year's the proposal that you have done for this competition.
Yeah, so this year I'm building a website builder. So there's builders like WordPress, Wix. So what I'm building is something similar to that. It's going to be an open source platform which will allow people to build their own custom websites. So the fundamental thing about this is I'm going to build a set of reusable components, and using those components, a person who needs a website can easily use a custom configuration file and also use a custom theme file to build up their own website. So this will be done using a technology called Gatsby.js, which is a framework built upon React.js. So basically, the aim of this is to ease the process of creating a website and getting it up and running.
Right. So basically what you have done is most like, it's not basically automation, but you have kind of given the foundation of everything. So
yes, exactly.
Scratch. So what it's saying.
Yeah.
So that's great. I mean, that's something unique because I think when it comes to building websites, everybody have to like do the CSS. I mean, all these coding, most basic ones. But again, with your methodology, I don't think anybody has to do all that because it's known, right? So it's like I would say like if you want to build a car, you could just assemble it rather than just build it from scratch, something like that.
Yeah, very true.
Great. Okay. So Dilu, let's speak about your project.
When it comes to my project, it's basically again it's automation in image processing, because like these image processing concepts are like even though actually they are not complex, but people, when they hear these AI and image processing and all those theories, they will think it's very complex, so we can't just go and jump into the game and play with these stuff. So my idea was like it's something connected to my final year project, because in my final year project I started learning about image processing and image processing related techniques, and also like my final year project is actually about image processing and machine learning. So after studied about all this stuff, I thought of like even my organization had the main idea, like a basic idea about automating this image processing related steps. So where we can, if we can give a kind of a system where a non-technical guy can come and play with the image processing related stuff in an unlogical way. So so what my system is doing, it's Image Lab. Image Lab is basically a system which gives you high level components to drag and drop, and you can build a kind of a image processing pipeline. So you don't have to understand the underlying theory. You can just drag and drop the components and see what kind of output that you are getting. So you like, if you are an expert in like in the image processing pipeline, what you can do, you can just make the pipeline which is in your head, and you can see whether it's working, because like when you create the pipeline, it shows what's the output. So I think for a beginner, because our target audience from this system is beginners who are coming to image processing. So we need to encourage more people to get started with image processing. So for those kind of people, it will be useful, because they don't have to know what this theory actually does, because when we do something practically, it gives us the meaning rather than just reading a theory or like writing an equation or something like that. So that's the main idea behind my project, Image Lab.
Yeah, I mean that's a great initiative, because now I think with the current trend, this machine learning and all those AI stuff, they are actually quite in the trend, because these are being integrated to most systems. Like you can see, I mean, there are self-driving cars and all those automation systems. I think they also have a bit of machine learning involved in them, if I'm right. Yeah, so I think your initiative when it comes to identifying objects and also all this image processing, image identifying methodologies is actually quite great, because it's I would say future-proof. I would say, because it's something that's needed in the advancement of science and IT. Okay, moving on to Azhar. And Azhar, let's speak about what you have done.
Yeah, so my proposal for this year's GSoC was to build a standalone scanner for OS organization. So last year I was involved in the risk assessment framework to build the foundation stuff. So I was using other scanners to integrate into a single point. So I can like scan all the code for vulnerabilities, security vulnerabilities. So OS is a non-profit foundation that works to improve the security of the software. It's an open source software security organization. So this year I'll be creating my own scanner for the OS organization. So the developers can scan their static code and get the results. What are the risk assets for their code, and what are the vulnerabilities, and how they can improve on it. So that's the basic idea of my project this year.
That's great, because like when it comes to speaking about the IT security, especially like when it comes to web security and all those cyber security threats that are happening, and also all these the malware and all those number of software that are built to serve a purpose, which is to like infiltrate all those security layers. It's good to strengthen. I mean, even at this level, if you are doing something great, because at the end, we all need to feel safe, as well as in the physical life and as well as in the online life. So That's something great because what we need with all these advancements is to understand that along with the knowledge that we have, the same knowledge can be used differently to access them in a sort of a wrongful way. I think steps like this taken by students like you guys, even at the stage of learning, is quite commendable, I would say. And you three have done a great job with all these projects, and also even the other two that are not in connection today have done really great job, and that's why it's been recognized, being awarded, and also when it comes to it's like selected for local summer of code. Moving on, so we have someone who has done it for the second time. That's Devon, right? So last year also you did something and you got selected, and this year also you did something, you got selected once again. Maybe next year so you could do the same. So let's speak about how it feels like to do it consecutively and still be able to grab it.
Yeah, so last year was the first time I actually applied to GSoC. So like I got to know about GSoC when I was in my second year from a guest lecture conducted at IIT. So from this lecture, I got to know there's this program, and then I went home and searched about it, and I found out that this is actually a great program which is happening globally. So first time I applied, I got selected, and it was a really great experience. Like I got to bond with the community. Like when it comes to open source, one great thing I noticed is that you will get to experience things that you will not experience if you like out of the ordinary. You get to experience different technologies and stuff like that. So that is one main motivation, and also the community which drive me to apply for the second time as well. So it has been a great experience going through all this developing open source software, and so generally it's actually a good experience.
That's great. And so I think like with further steps, I mean, more steps you take, the more precise you become and more perfect you can make your products or proposals at this stage. And not only you, I think Azhar also has been previously on the same Google Summer of Code competition. Let's speak about, maybe Azhar, can you tell a little bit about what it's like now to to be someone who has already done it? And then do you think having done it earlier actually helped you with the CS project proposals?
Yeah, actually, I was involved last year. So a year before that, from first year, I got to know about this GSoC. It was all new for me. And I thought I could apply for that. And yeah, and I applied in my second year, and I went through all the subjects and proposed like 2 proposals for 2 different organizations. And I got selected for the OWASP organization. And it was all from the scratch. So the mentors were all very supportive, and they were giving all the instructions to me about my idea and how to proceed with that and all of that. So I started building a common platform kind of thing. So all the scanners could come in from the OS organization itself and make a scanner, a kind of thing, a common scanner to all the developers. So right. From that one, I'm building up onto my scanner.
That's great. So it's a gradual improvement, and also I think like a steady improvement. That's great. So thank you for those comments. And well, Dylan has also been a mentor from last year, and now you are a participant. So what's the difference, and what do you see? Do you think mentoring actually helped you with the CS project completion, like the project proposal completion? Do you think all that tally up to something different in the future?
Yeah, actually, I should correct that I was a mentor in Google Coding, not the Summer of Code, but like both programs are somewhat similar when it comes to the the global aim and what they are trying to achieve. So if you consider Summer of Code, it's basically mentoring. I think mentoring involves, because like anyone can come up with the idea, but they need proper guidance in order to achieve that, because there's a time duration that we call it as coding period. So like within few months, if the idea is there can be the idea, the scope of the idea can be very huge, right? So, but you need to properly narrow it down and achieve this to a certain extent where, like if you build the basic components, if it is a new idea, if you build the basic components or the granular level of the idea, like others can contribute to it. So that's where mentors come in. And like when it comes to mentoring, it's like from the mentor side, the support we are getting is super, because they are available in every time. And we use, most of the times we use something called Gitter in order to contact with mentors. And mentors are the people who help when we are writing our proposals. Even they give feedback, you have to change this part, you have to put architecture diagrams, these kind of stuff, you have to elaborate on this point. So likewise. And participation, I think rather than me, Devon will give a good idea about participation in the program. So because he already has the experience, so I'm just starting with the participation. So like even in Google some coding, it's more similar. We have to mentor the students who are involving in the program, and we have to give them feedback. If they are stuck at any point, we have to jump into the code and we have to see at what point, like in which section they are struggling, so we can give high level ideas, or we can provide links or any resources what we know according to this topic. Also in Summer of Code, I think mentors are like more than Google coding. Summer of Code, it's like the program goes for a few months, so mentors also trying to learn stuff and trying to help the student during the entire program.
Right. So I think mentoring, regardless of which program, at the end helps you as well to like develop your skills and also use it for future on as well. So that's great. And yeah, so Devon, sorry, Dilum actually kind of pass some question to you, Devon. So when it comes to participation,
Sure.
yeah.
So in terms of participation, when I consider mentors, so they are actually really supportive. So throughout the last year, so last summer actually, I was doing GSoC. So they were actually giving guidance every step, because like when participating, so for the first time you are really new to the program. So most of the students who get selected, like for the first time, will have no idea on what to do and like what are the procedures to follow. So those things are clearly explained by the mentors, and like the mentors will guide us through the steps to do it. So the transitions and the process of the learning curve, it's not very steep. You can actually gradually learn like all the open source things you need to know to complete the GSoC successfully. So at the end of the period, you will again, as I mentioned before, you will have a great experience, and also you will gain knowledge in different areas.
Okay, that's true, because like not everybody gets to get selected, because a lot of people just go through the journey, and sometimes they get like what they earn is the journey and the experience that they have gathered throughout the program. I think. So that's also great, because like when it comes to future, I think to help with their careers, what really helps with them is the experience, just like the experience through IIT. And I think the best person to speak about the experience and the support that he received throughout the Google Summer of Code, because he has done Google Summer of Code and been participated in this project for a number of times. So Azhar, it's up to you to tell us how it was liked when it comes to receiving support from IIT, from the lecturers, academics, and everybody when it comes to making sure that you create a great project, and then also you kind of cover the basics of what it means to create a proposal.
Yeah, so from IIT only I got to know about the GSoC in the first place. So by guest lecturers, my seniors, everyone was so supportive, and they were guiding us through, this is GSoC, you have to do this, and this, and how you write your proposal. There were good sessions. I think Dilum and everyone, like Mozilla Club also, they were doing something. And it was really great, actually. So it helped a lot, and I got more support from my seniors, lecturers. They were also forcing me to, like, they were behind me all the time. and I could ask any question and they would reply fast, and they'll guide me through the proposal and to get selected. So it was really helpful for my life.
Okay. I think the guidance also plays a major role when it comes to creating something unique and creating something brand new, because sometimes you start on a clean slate and you got to build up everything from the beginning. Sometimes you get the component from someone else. So when you get that component from someone else, that's the advice you get and the guidance. So when you gather all that, I think the product at the end becomes really, really supportive and something that's really fulfilling at the end. So that's great to hear from Azhar. Do you guys have anything to add to that? Like maybe Dylan or maybe Devon? Support you got?
Yeah, actually from IIT and our university, it motivates us to go and achieve a lot of things, not only GSoC when it comes to other things, because we have a very good set of clubs and societies which runs at IIT. Also, we have a lot of good seniors who has experienced this stuff before us. So an IIT as a university or a campus, they connect both ends, like juniors and seniors. So I think that's the best privilege that we are getting. The people who have gone in this, people who have already experienced these kind of things, like that's the knowledge that we actually need as juniors. So IIT is managing that pipeline and trying to pass all that knowledge and the experience that they have gained when they were students to the juniors, and that's a really good thing. And also I should thank the management and the IIT for helping these clubs and societies and maintaining them as well, because they do a lot of sessions. Like even when I myself and Devon was there in Mozilla Club and IEEE, so we were doing a lot of sessions. We were organizing a lot of sessions for our juniors as well as to the entire IIT students. So like I think those are the things that actually other than like addition to the academia related stuff, those are the things actually motivates us to go and participate in these kind of programs.
Okay, right. So the ideal person to ask this question will be you, because now when it comes to learning IT, right? So I remember you telling some time back that you actually started from a biology background. You did biology at school for A-levels, and then you completely switched your career aspirations into becoming an IT professional. And now we are almost there, like you're halfway there. I would say you're maybe 90% there already. So how is it like when it comes to switching from? I mean, there are students a lot out there who are like quite curious about what would it be like to be to do IT out of the blue, and then suddenly once they are done with their completely non-IT stream of A-levels. So how was it like? How was the experience, and how has it resulted so far?
Yeah, if I'm telling it with one word, it was comfortable, because IIT was there to handle the entire process. When I jump into first year, it was like very difficult. I thought it will be very difficult because I did not understand even a single word that they are talking about, Java and OOP and all this, because I was only used to use my computer to just watch movies or to browse web or do those kind of stuff. So I was like, but I had a lot of friends at IIT, because my schoolmates and my batchmates were there at IIT in senior batches. So they were also encouraging, and even IIT lecturers, they were like, they tried to like not to focus on the people who can understand. They tried to focus on everyone who's in the classroom at the like very initial stages of programming and like other basic stuff related to computer science. Switching, there's a learning curve. Actually, there's a learning curve because I have never experienced about programming, computer science related stuff. But like I should say, like if you take that switch, if you are trying to take that switch, you should have like there should be a kind of a like commitment from your end as well. So what I did, I tried to talk to my like friends, and I tried to understand what's happening, and I kept the motivation behind me, and I tried to achieve a lot of things, because I had a kind of a list of things that I should achieve. After talking to my friends, they gave me some, like, you can go and join this club, that club, and you can talk to GSoC if you have any problem, and try to understand basics. That's the most important thing and all that. So yeah, like when it comes to IT, I think other than all that, what we gain from the knowledge side, I think IT industry as industry also looking for people who can learn fast and who can adapt to any environment. That's, I think, in the industry, that's the actual skill that they value. Like you don't have to have this. You don't have to say that you are Android developer, so you can't become a web developer. So that's not valid in the industry when it comes to IT. So I think it was for me. I'm lucky to have that experience at the beginning as well, because from switching from biology to computer science, I think that's kind of my backbone. That's what made me who I am today. Because when I went to my internship, I realized that the industry is actually looking for not being good at one particular technology, but having the skill to convert from quickly learn something and adapting to that environment and perform well in that environment. So I think for even the other people who are in here, they have already completed or they are completing their industry placement, so maybe they have the similar experience. We have worked in technologies that we were not aware of. So we just went through the documentation, we learned that, and we did the task. So I think my switch at the beginning, that was a very good thing, that I was lucky to have that switch, because it gave me a lot of motivation, and it was a good experience.
Okay, so this directs a question to Devon. Now, when it comes to students, we see a lot of students struggling. They want to be in IT, and then they kind of are reluctant to make this switch. Sometimes there are parents who would wonder whether it's possible, whether it's okay to go for IT, because you see a lot of universities locally and globally. There are so many students who are becoming IT professionals now, and they always wonder, will there be going to be an excess of this profession of these IT professionals? And if you want, what kind of advice do you think you want to give to these aspiring students? And also, when it comes to gaining skills, there are so many platforms you can access now. There's also online and all those things. And then when it comes to online, you can definitely access different platforms. So the skills are different. There are so many skills that you can gain out of this. So how do you think they should look at this when it comes to building up a proper CV that can be hired, and also making sure that they go to this industry, IT industry? What do you think you have as an idea that you can give this?
Yeah, like Dilum, I also did not come from an IT background. So I was doing chemistry back in school for A-levels, and then I joined IIT. So I wrote my first piece of code at first year. So what I have to say is, when it comes to the IT industry, it's all about, as Dilum said, it's all about learning to learn. So basically, if you have the ability to grab things fast and learn quickly, so that skill you need to develop. So that skill, it's not very difficult to develop, but you need some effort in order to do that. So basically, talking about learning, there is, as you mentioned, there is so much of resources available. So one thing I have to mention is there is so many online courses, including Udemy. Some of them are paid, but some of them are there are so many good series in YouTube. But in order to search those stuff, and you need to build up a pathway. You can't randomly watch things here and there, but before you get into proper understanding, you need to know the basic fundamentals and the basic knowledge around which all of these happen. So I think from my experience, I got that basic fundamental understanding from IIT. So the curriculum in IIT is tailored to actually for a beginner like me to from knowing nothing to come up to a certain level where you can actually self-learn and build up your own pathway. So that is actually really I really appreciate that about IIT as well. So I think basically, if you are a student and you are thinking about going into the IT industry, So remember that thing, and so make sure you make a proper pathway and have like a list of things or like some steps you need to do in order to achieve a certain level. So after you get that opportunity, there is limitless opportunities for you in the industry, because IT is one of the most disruptive industries currently present, and you can there is so many opportunities, so many new companies coming up, new products are being launched. So due to this, there will be new vacancies for IT professionals. So I think it's a really good environment to get yourself into right now. Yeah.
And is there a drum kit behind you? Is a drum set?
Yeah.
Yeah, multi-talented. That's great to hear from someone like you about advices for the future. Okay, Asa, let's turn to you. And you've been silent for a while. Let's ask you a question. Let's say, now, when it comes to the future, when it comes to IT industry, IT sector, and IT, all these skills and developments that are happening at the moment, what do you think it's going to happen in the future? And also when it comes to the future of your competition as well, since you already been a part of the competition before, speak about, maybe start with the competition and also go on about what you think is going to happen in the future. But I mean, what's going to happen after the initial step, and then forward forward later on when it comes to competition, and also globally, what do you think? Because now you see all these different technologies coming up, and what's your thought about that?
So yeah, about GSoC. So now we are currently in the community bonding period, where students and mentors communicate with each other and discuss about their project plan and go through their timeline and those sort of stuff. So from June, we'll be starting coding. So proposed project students, developers will be starting their coding phase, and it will lead to evaluations. There will be 3 evaluations for each phase. So coding, you evaluate, submit your code and get your result.
Okay.
Then again, it will happen 3 times, and finally, it will be the result will be announced for the successful students who were successfully completing the result. So after that, even in your proposal, mentors want you to put what will you do after your GSoC period, like post GSoC. What will you do? So they will be also looking at that. So GSoC is all about attracting all the young developers into the open source. So they mainly focus on getting new people and to make them develop into open source throughout this thing, I guess. So what I will be doing is, like, my focus will be, I'll be engaged in the open source this thing from this project itself, and I'll be community, like, contributing to the community throughout the year, I guess. That's what I was doing from.
Okay. So do you think you'll be going for a phase 2 of your projects? If it gets, get successful at the end, will you be advancing it later on, maybe for the next step or second version?
Sure. Yeah, there will be a phase 2. There will be a many phases actually. So this is just a foundation level this thing. So we'll be getting more developers into it and start building a better solution to this organization.
Okay. Brilliant. That's great. So good luck with that to all of you, actually, because I know that all of you wants to make your products much more successful and quite useful for the users. And so anyone else, do you guys want to thank anyone? Because there are a lot of people that must have pushed you. You mentioned about the IIT and also maybe other parties as well. Do you have anyone to thank at the moment? Let's start with Dylan.
Yeah, actually, I should thank, first of all, I should thank my university, IIT, being very supportive for all the stuff that we are doing, not only for Google Summer of Code, like considering our entire university life, and all the lecturers who are at IIT, because if they did not teach us the right paths to follow, I don't know where we are now. So actually, I should mention Guksi sir, Guhanathan sir, organizing a lot of sessions, allocating his valuable time to give us opportunities to meet seniors and all that. So that was very valuable for our like entire life. I think if you ask from anyone, they will talk about what we experience at IIT. Most of the sessions were organized by Guptisa, so I should thank him. Actually, he's my supervisor, and always he was encouraging to students. He was telling that this thing is there, that thing is there, that competition is there, go and apply. So those are the like actual valuable things that actual support that we received from IIT. Not only that, even IIT from dean to any lecturer was achieved like reachable. I consider it as a very, very good thing, because at a university, we can't normally go and meet people very easily, right? But at IIT, like even though we are in any level, the reaching lecturers are a simple thing. It's dropping an email and making appointment and go and meet. Even the dean is reachable. So that's a very good thing, because when it comes to students, we need their support in order to achieve a lot of things. So that's a very good thing. And I need to thank one of my good friends who I met from one of the competitions, Isru Abhayavardhana, because he was the one who was motivating me to achieve all this, not only Google Summer of Code. If I consider my entire university life, attending conferences, participating in a lot of organizations, and holding a lot of responsibilities in other organizations in a global level and region level as well. So he's the person who was motivating me, because I told you that I am coming from a biology background, so I had no idea about what is this industry and what are the competitions or what are the things out there. So he's from Sabaragam University, and Isru Abhayavardhana is the person who motivated me to achieve all this. So I should thank him for being a good friend. And I should thank the IIT, from lecturers to the minor staff to everyone who is at IIT. Even the security uncle, he was helpful. Thanks to the management for supporting us and making a very good environment to be the student or be the person who we want to be. Yeah, that's from my end, and my parents.
Okay, and Demon, any thoughts?
Yeah, so as Dilum said, like all of what he mentioned is applicable to me as well. So especially I would mention the guest lectures. So it was really useful. It was organized by Gupsi sir, and also in the final year, Kanika sir did some sessions for our final year project. So those things were really helpful to build up background in specific like areas, different areas. So that was really useful, and I'm thankful for that. Also, I'm thankful that IIT gives a chance for the students to go and experience the industry for one whole year. So like having a 1 year of experience in the industry is actually priceless for a student, because you will learn things which you cannot learn in a lecture hall. And like when you come back to IIT in the final year, you get to apply the knowledge you gain from the internship to your final year project, and likewise you will get the full package. So that is a really great thing that I really appreciate. So overall, I'd like to thank all the lecturers and everyone overall for helping and guiding us throughout.
Okay, great. And Azam, up to you. Do you have anyone that you want to thank?
Yeah, already Dilum and Devan were really comprehensive about their thanking. And also, I would like to thank Mr. Gunardhan sir. He was really encouraging and supportive, and he was doing all these sessions, guest lectures, being on all these people. And my friends who were really motivating and giving the competition and all. Also, my family.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in today. I think just as you are thankful for IIT and for GSoC, and IIT is also in return quite thankful to you, and also glad to call you guys students, because when it comes to IIT, even though IIT happens to be the oldest private campus British higher education institution in Sri Lanka, we also should have some kind of a glamour, and you guys are the ornaments of that glamour, because when it comes to decorations, of course, IIT gets decorated with colorful students like you guys. So IIT is definitely thankful for being there, because you recognize IIT, and you are the way that IIT also can be recognized with the results, being you at the very end point. So thank you so much for joining in. And we had Dilum De Silva and Devon Vijay Singh and also Azhar Ahmed joining us today. And not only them, there are also 2 more students who got selected for the Summer of Code this year, and that is Jayasan Vijay Singh and also Aditya Varasugutana not joining us today though, because due to some commitments. But we're thankful for all of you for being with us, being with IIT all these years along the journey, and also creating certain milestones throughout your journey so that we can also stop and look back and also celebrate in the future as well. And so thank you so much for joining in. And I also would like to thank all our viewers as well. So if you just joined this webinar, we have been conducting for about 54 minutes so far, and then you can rewind and see if you like to. If you want to consult and get more information about IIT, you can definitely go check out our website, iit.ac.lk, and also check out the Facebook fan page. There's also an Instagram page on the same keywords. And you can also call us on the telephone numbers you can find on the website to get more quicker updates about the programs that we have at IIT for after O-levels and after A-level students for IT and business background. So thank you so much once again to all 3 of you for joining in. And yeah, thanks once again, and have a great day ahead.